I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor? And you expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
Curb Your
seriously, sir.
Enthusiasm?
She walked into the Senate hearing insisting her politics had absolutely no influence on her legal opinions. Seconds later, Senator John Kennedy reached for a stack of printed articles and social media posts, with her name on every page. What followed wasn't a debate over the First Amendment. It became a direct confrontation over credibility, consistency, and her own public statements. Every answer only raised more questions. Watch this exchange and decide for yourself who made the stronger case.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for having to miss the testimony of some of you, and I appreciate you coming today. Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship
Okay.
industrial complex.
I got that part.
No, I just
got
want
that
to
part.
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, as I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruen, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well," close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m., quote, "The majority of Americans hate women. The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance of
Here
that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I read that correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take
You
the First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
I
Thank you.
believe that you should
The
take
time
the First
has
Amendment
expired. Thank
seriously.
you. Senator Durbin.
What made this exchange so memorable wasn't that Senator John Kennedy introduced new evidence. It was that he relied almost entirely on Professor Mary and Frank's own published words. Instead of arguing about hypotheticals, he repeatedly asked a simple question. "Did you say this?" Each time she acknowledged the quotes, or shifted toward questioning their relevance, the focus of the hearing moved from constitutional law to credibility. Kennedy's central argument was straightforward. If a witness tells the Senate that personal political beliefs do not affect their legal analysis, then years of strongly worded public writings become fair subjects for scrutiny. His strategy was to let those writings speak for themselves and ask whether they reflected the neutrality expected of an expert witness. Professor Franks, on the other hand, maintained that the hearing was about First Amendment doctrine and government action, not her political opinions or social media posts. From her perspective, the legal issues before the committee should have remained the focus, regardless of how forcefully she had expressed her views elsewhere. That clash created the hearing's defining moment. One side argued that past public statements reveal potential bias. The other argued that legal analysis should stand on its own, independent of personal commentary. Whether you agree with Kennedy or with Franks, this exchange demonstrates why confirmation hearings and congressional testimony often become battles over credibility as much as substance. Public writings, interviews, and social media posts can become part of the record, especially when a witness claims impartiality. The broader lesson is simple. In Washington, every published article, every interview, and every post can resurface under the bright lights of a congressional hearing. Politicians know it. Witnesses know it. And once those words are entered into the record, they're no longer just opinions. They become part of the public debate. Now it's your turn. Did Senator Kennedy successfully challenge the witness's claim of objectivity, or did the hearing drift away from the core First Amendment issues? Share your perspective in the comments, and if you enjoy in-depth coverage of major congressional hearings and U.S. politics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big exchange.